Chapter 1. The Meeting. Deep within the underbelly of Gotham City, where the shadows whisper secrets of the night, a covert assembly was underway. Hidden beneath the cacophony of the urban jungle, an underground chamber played host to a gathering that could alter the very fate of the city. Ra's al Ghul, the ageless mastermind of the League of Assassins, sat with an air of regal composure at the head of a long, dimly lit table. His loyal assassins, silent and vigilant, lined the walls of the room, their presence an unspoken threat. At the table, the Joker's laughter danced like a discordant melody, his chaotic energy a stark contrast to the disciplined stillness of Ra's al Ghul's sentinels. "Welcome to the endgame," he cackled, his voice a harbinger of madness. "The Bat's days are numbered." The heavy door at the far end of the room swung open with a resounding thud, heralding the arrival of Lex Luthor. Flanked by his elite security team, the corporate titan entered with a commanding stride, his eyes scanning the room with calculated precision. The Joker's twisted smile never wavered, even in the face of such formidable company. "Ah, the prodigal son returns," he sneered, his gaze locked onto Lex's. "Care to join our little soiree?" Lex Luthor, undeterred by the Joker's antics, took his seat with a steely resolve. "Let's cut to the chase," he said, his voice devoid of fear. "What's the play?" With the three powerhouses now convened, the Joker revealed his plan, his eyes gleaming with malicious delight. "I know where Batman hides," he said, a wicked smile playing on his lips. "It's simple," he declared, his eyes alight with a fiendish glow. "We hit him where he lives, where he thinks he's safe. And you, Ra's, with your assassin stealth, will breach the sanctum. Lex, your task is to procure a nuclear weapon and ensure the evidence points elsewhere, specifically towards the Batman." Lex Luthor, billionaire industrialist and genius inventor, regarded the Joker with a wary eye. He was no stranger to forming alliances for mutual benefit, but partnering with the Joker was a risky proposition. Yet the potential rewards were too enticing to ignore. Ra's al Ghul, the immortal leader of the League of Assassins, remained silent, his keen eyes studying the two men before him. He had crossed paths with Batman more times than he could count, and the prospect of finally eliminating his worthy adversary was a tantalizing one. Lex Luthor pondered the strategy, his mind already weaving webs of intrigue and deceit. The elimination of Batman was a prize worth any risk. With a nod that sealed their fates, he agreed. "Consider it done." The Joker leaned forward, his grin wide and wild. "Imagine the headlines," he mused. "The Bat, the villain, and then our dear Solid Snake steps in to save the day after we pass certain information along the correct channels." Ra's al Ghul nodded, his thoughts hidden behind a veil of contemplation. "The city will be torn apart," he acknowledged, "but from the ashes, a new order will rise." The three men were in accord, their willingness to risk it all a testament to their resolve. The nuclear weapon was the key, a force so destructive that its mere presence threatened the existence of Gotham itself. Lex's eyes gleamed with ruthless ambition. "Batman's fall will be our ascent, and the Joker's game will have its grand finale." With a nod, the pact was sealed. They would frame Batman, drawing Solid Snake into a battle that could end them all. But for these three, the gamble was worth it, for power, for vengeance, and for the sheer thrill of the game.
The following video is brought to you by DigitalFableForge.com. We are the storytellers of the digital age, crafting tales through art and design that captivate and inspire. Explore our diverse portfolio of characters and shows. Read captivating crossover stories with stunning artwork. Or submit your own ideas for awesome crossover stories. DigitalFableForge.com. Your journey into the digital arts starts here.
Chapter 2. The Weapon. Amidst the labyrinthine depths of Gotham City, Lex Luthor executed his part of the Sinister Pact. His target, a clandestine research facility rumored to house experimental weaponry, including a nuclear device. The facility, disguised as an innocuous warehouse on the docks, was a fortress of secrets and silent alarms. Lex's connections within Gotham's underbelly were invaluable. A few encrypted messages to the right individuals, and the security protocols of the facility were as good as breached. Money flowed like water, and loyalty shifted in the dark. The Joker, meanwhile, orchestrated his own brand of chaos. Ensuring that all eyes were on the mayhem he wrought, away from Lex's covert operations. His laughter was the overture to anarchy, a prelude to the storm that was brewing. As Lex secured the nuclear weapon, he couldn't help but admire the sheer audacity of their plan. It was a gambit that would leave the world reeling. Batman, the symbol of order, would be framed as the harbinger of destruction. Yet Lex was no one's pawn. He had modified the weapon, ensuring it could not be activated within Metropolis. An override control, known only to him, was his ace in the hole. The power was his, and his alone. With the nuclear weapon now under their control, the trio's plan was poised on the knife edge of fruition. The city of Gotham, with all its shadows and secrets, was the stage for their dark symphony. Lex Luthor, with his calculated mind, had ensured that every contingency was accounted for, every outcome meticulously planned. The Joker's wild card had been played, his chaotic touch infusing the plot with an element of unpredictability that only he could relish. Ra's al Ghul's ancient wisdom and strategic prowess promised a new dawn for Gotham, one forged in the fires of destruction and rebirth. Together they stood at the precipice of a new era, ready to tip the balance and watch as the dominoes fell. Batman's fall, Solid Snake's involvement, and the city's fate were all but sealed in their hands. The game was set, the risks known, and they were willing to play it to the bitter end, for the promise of power, for the allure of chaos, and for the sheer spectacle of the game. Chapter 3. The Capture. From his tower in the heart of Metropolis, Lex Luthor, the Man of Steel's arch-nemesis, orchestrated a master plan. Utilizing his vast resources and influence, he arranged for the infamous mercenary, Revolver Ocelot, to be captured. This capture was not a setback, but a calculated move, a crucial part of the grand scheme. Ocelot, known for his cunning and resourcefulness, was well compensated for his role in the plan, and his release had already been arranged. He was to play the part of a defeated adversary, a pawn sacrificed for the greater game. With the bomb's trigger concealed on his person, he allowed himself to be captured, surrendering without fight. The capture took place in broad daylight, a spectacle for all to witness. Executed by Lex Luthor's Black Ops security team, Ocelot was taken into custody, his hands bound, his weapons confiscated, and several supposedly stolen LexCorp experimental prototypes found at the scene. As he was led away, a small device was discovered on him by the police, the bomb's trigger. The discovery was intentional, a breadcrumb left for his captors to find. As Ocelot was taken away, his eyes met Lex Luthor's, a silent understanding passing between them. The plan was in motion, the pieces were moving, and the game was just beginning. Unbeknownst to their captors, they were dancing to the tune of the Puppet Masters, stepping right into their trap. Once in custody, Ocelot made a shocking confession sure to draw the attention of Solid Snake. He claimed that he had delivered the nuclear weapon to none other than Batman. He spun a tale of Batman going rogue, falling in with the League of Assassins. His words were met with disbelief, but the seed of doubt was planted. To add to the confusion, a member of the League of Assassins captured alongside Ocelot confirmed his story. The confirmation was unexpected, lending more weight to Ocelot's claims. The captors were left in a state of shock and suspicion, their trust in Batman wavering. The stage was set for the next act of this grand performance. The capture was complete. The real game was about to begin. The captors were left questioning their alliances, their faith in Batman shaken. The puppet masters watched from the shadows, their plan unfolding perfectly. The world was about to witness a spectacle like no other. The capture was just the beginning. The deception was yet to unfold. Chapter 4. The Deception Revolver. Ocelot, contained within the stark walls of a holding cell, was the image of surrender. Yet his mind was alive with strategy. He had already set the stage with his tale of Batman's betrayal and the nuclear threat tied to the League of Assassins. The device found on Ocelot, masquerading as the bomb's deactivation switch, was a masterstroke in their game of deception. It was enough to necessitate the involvement of someone with Solid Snake's caliber, a soldier renowned for his tactical genius and unparalleled field experience, especially if Batman had indeed gone rogue. They needed the best they could find. As Solid Snake received the supposed deactivation device, the trap was set. The world remained oblivious to the ruse, the narrative of Batman's fall from grace taking hold. The true nature of the device, a trigger rather than a safeguard, remained a secret, known only to the architects of this grand deception. Chapter 5. The Distraction. In the dark corners of Gotham, the Joker was plotting his next move. With a wicked grin, he set his plan into motion. His target was Alfred, Batman's trusted friend and confidant. The Joker knew that kidnapping Alfred would send Batman on a desperate search across Gotham, effectively distracting him from the Batcave. As Batman received the news of Alfred's abduction, he was filled with a sense of urgency. He knew he had to find Alfred before it was too late. The Joker had cleverly manipulated Batman, sending him on a wild goose chase across the city, away from the Batcave. Meanwhile, Ra's al Ghul, using his knowledge of Batman and his lair, seized the opportunity to infiltrate the Batcave. With Batman preoccupied, he was able to plant the bomb without any interference. The Batcave, once a sanctuary, was now a ticking time bomb. The Joker, not content with just one distraction, decided to add another layer to his plan. He manipulated Batman into going to the location where Lex Luthor had obtained the nuclear bomb. He made Batman believe that they were keeping Alfred there. This move placed Batman at the scene of the stolen nuclear weapon, further implicating him in the grand scheme. To ensure that Batman's presence at the scene of the stolen weapon was not unnoticed, a video was made of Batman at the scene with an altered timestamp set to coincide with the theft. This video was then anonymously provided to the authorities, further casting suspicion on Batman and adding another layer of complexity to the unfolding drama. The distractions were in place. Batman was out of the Batcave, frantically searching for Alfred, while Ra's al Ghul planted the bomb. The Joker watched from the shadows, reveling in the chaos he had created. The stage was set for the next act of this grand performance. The live feed was yet to come.